Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brad. In my hands is Did You Hear What Ed Gein Done? The graphic novel. Now, I backed this on, I think it was Kickstarter, so this is a special edition, autographed and all that. Just want to, be transparent on that. This graphic novel is so disturbing. There was moments I was kind of like gagging and retching a little bit. So, Ed Gein is real person. He committed a whole bunch of crimes in the late 50s. Really jacked up stuff. He is kind of the basis of Norman Bates and Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill. It's jacked up, and we'll kind of get in that a little bit. So this is by Harold Schechter and Eric Powell, who did some pretty solid research, it seems like, going into this. And the back, I think they said everything's first-hand accounts, or first... Want to get it right? I don't remember if it was first source, first resource. Well, hold on. Yeah, primary source, sorry. Primary source materials. Like this, they went and did the research on this, and it goes through Ed's life from being a kid to the end, and it's a really fascinating graphic novel. It's amazing art, amazing story, and just that it's so unbelievable, so over the top that this happened in real life. So basically, like, Gein's mother was just completely psychotic. Abusive in every way, all about everyone being unpure and, can't be friends with people because they're impure and all that. And then he had a father who was generally worthless and just an alcoholic and abusive unto his own. So it's not too shocking that Ed, completely loses it. But the question is why, and the answer is never given. The way it's presented, we have a lot of kind of theories, there's some guesses, a lot of debates about it, which I think is actually really interesting, and it never comes to a conclusion, because I don't think anyone has really ever come to a conclusion. The other is, like, we don't know fully what he did, only he knew what he did. There was a lot of stuff that was claimed, there was a lot of myth that kind of came out of it. He would admit to something and then say he didn't do it, and then say he did it again, and then say he didn't do it. So, no one really knows exactly what his crimes were totally. We do know that he murdered some women. He looks like he dug up graves. We know he did some really messed up stuff with the bodies. It was disturbing stuff, like really, really disturbing stuff. As I said, like, reading this, I kind of retched it sometimes. It's a really disturbing comic to read, graphic novel to read, because you got the visuals there. But if you've gone through Silence of the Lambs, you've watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you're probably fine, because some of that stuff is in those films. It's a disturbing, like, that's all I can say. It's disturbing and fascinating. I love that I read it. This is one of the most interesting things I've read this year. It stuck with me the entire time after, and it's probably going to stick with me for quite a while thinking about it. And a lot of it is because, it doesn't give answers. It throws out a lot of questions, it throws out a lot of possibilities, but it doesn't give you a definitive answer. But I also think the thing that's really interesting is that it explores the impact of this guy. He destroyed lives, he destroyed families, he murdered people, he rocked a community and made it uneased. But he also shifted pop culture in a lot of ways, and that's what I think is really kind of fascinating, that kind of brought up at the end. And it's not something I would have ever thought of. His exploits, what he did, is the basis of Psycho, which then went from a book to Alfred Hitchcock's film, and there's a lot of arguments that Psycho is kind of like that film that launched the slasher craze. Without Psycho, we might have not had Friday the 13th, we might not have had Nightmare on Elm Street, we might not have had Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That film was a massive shift in cinematography in many ways, but also its influence is really important as to what it begot. And I think that's kind of the thing that's really interesting about the graphic novel, is that it doesn't just go through his crimes, but also goes through the impact he had to society that he doesn't probably even know about, or didn't know about because he's dead. And it's just it's really interesting because of that, and just his crimes are fascinating, and his motivations and what maybe drove him to do it are fascinating. But just that end, like, really has you thinking about it, and also has me thinking, like, what does that say about society? And I think that's part of it. So it's a hell of a read. It's a hell of a story, and the art is absolutely amazing. And we start off with just this discussion from Alfred Hitchcock about Psycho. Let's go with that. It kind of gives you an idea of the art. I mean, the art is absolutely amazing, and just the way this is presented, everything, it's disturbing. Like, this is not an easy read for a lot of reasons. And the fact that it's true just makes it even harder to read and get through, but it's well worth it. Out now in shops, you can go get it. It's been out for a bit. We got a link beneath this. Put in your zip code. We got a link beneath this. Put in your zip code. Tell the comic shops near you. No shop, no problem. We do have some affiliate links as well. They are affiliate links, so we got a small percentage of that. By doing that, you'll support our site. So thank you. And speaking of support, just watching our video support us. So thank you for that. If you're into graphic novels, if you're into comics, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.